Next up, Russ and I give our top 5 4K releases of 2023.
Did you make the cut?
Russ, it's that time again. Another year has gone by. Another year of this channel.
Strong year for physical media, in my opinion.
I feel the same way. I feel like we did our state of physical media video, a few months ago, and we really felt like physical media was thriving. Like it really was having an uptick. A lot of studios were putting out new great titles that a lot of fans have been wanting.
The titles. There were certain landmark titles that came out this year that I was very pleased to see. And then Best Buy came out and punched us in the face.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part. I didn't do fucking shit.
So now we're here to let everyone at home know what were our favorite 4K titles of the year. I want to share just what my criteria was for selecting all these elements. Great film, great transfer, great extras, and or great packaging. I feel like most of these have at least many of these items.
And you always want to have maybe somewhat of a personal attachment to it. But that goes with collecting in general. Any title you pick up.
I'm proud of all these, and I'm happy to share them with you and with the people at home.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
So Russ, my number 5 is a title I wasn't sure that I was even going to pick up. It is currently a release that is setting the physical media world ablaze, and a release that I would probably be better off just selling at this point, if I'm being honest. And that is Oppenheimer.
You son of a bitch.
Not from Best Buy, but from a company called FNAC. They're like a French company, and they had all the different versions still available because we had both talked about it on the live stream that we weren't going to pick this up, and then how much over time we really loved this movie, and then the Steelbook came out, and holy crap, was it great. But it sold out right away on Best Buy. It sold out and never came back.
I checked during Black Friday thinking maybe they'll, push it again. And nope.
And they never got it back. So I was really sad to find that out. But then once I saw they were selling it and the exact same amount of money too. And I, my friend, got you a copy as well. Merry Christmas.
Man, Matt.
4K Kings.
First off, let me say thank you, sincerely. The lead up to this, in my head, I'm thinking, I'm going to roast you this entire time, because why didn't you tell me the Steelbook was available?
I was like, we got to have this.
Oh, yeah.
So I wanted to pick you up one. Merry Christmas to you, Russ. This Steelbook, by the way, I haven't even opened it, but I will say it's definitely my number 5 for all the reasons I said before, that it was this whole journey, plus the fact that over the course of this past month or something, Christopher Nolan's been really out there promoting this and really sharing his love for physical media.
The home video versions of my films, the definitive versions, are the Blu-ray and the 4K versions. There's much less compression, and we control the color of the picture, the brightness, all these things. And also, being able to hold it in your hand and see the artwork and the posters and have the names. It's it's a real thing.
And when we reviewed and talked about this release, there is a ton of features on here for every last detail you could possibly want to know. What an awesome release. Now let's look at the packaging. It's badass Steelbook art, first of all. Second of all, look at the Oppenheimer. It's indented. It's like debossed in there. It's so nice. Care even put into the Steelbook. What an awesome release.
Nolan, you are a 4K king.
You're the 4K king of this year. I didn't think that we could call ourselves 4K kings rightfully unless we had what seems to be the release of the year. No one can get this thing. It's sold out everywhere.
Dude,
so
thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
This would be in my top 5 now too after that story, man.
It was God's will.
My number 5 is this gargantuan Film Vault series release of 2001: A Space Odyssey. We've discussed this series on this channel, and I had never taken the plunge. I had never picked one up. Wow, was I floored by this release. First off, it is big, but it's not obscenely big. It's a perfect display piece if you want to take a look at it, man. If peruse, please. It works for me in that 2001 is the type of film that should be displayed. I love the clear slip. But dude, open this up. First of all, look at the artwork, right? Isn't that fucking incredible? That's incredible. And it's all new. That's updated art. And it's beautiful. Look what this set comes with. Magnet clasp side that opens up like a book. 2 posters. Gloss finish postcards. But look what's in there, Mac.
This crystal?
Yes, dude. It is a crystal plaque with engraved numbering of what edition you picked up. How that comes out in its own little protective pouch, the disc itself, all in line with the style and aesthetic of the film. I was blown away. And what's even crazier, dude, I think this ended up costing me maybe $45. $45. I have paid double that for releases that are lesser in every sense of the word. I am converted. I am a Film Vault fan. They have earned my trust now. This release is stellar. Number 5 of 2023.
My number 4, I also have a Film Vault title to share as well. So the one I picked up was The Shawshank Redemption. I won't go into too much detail because Russ really explained well what this packaging is. I will say, much like you, I had no idea it was going to be this big. I feel like that's happened to me so many times. If you've watched this channel, for a while, so many things will have come in and I'll be like, why was it this big? I had no idea. The Godfather thing back there, it's just so damn big. I'm a big fan of my shelf, and I think a lot of people can respect that. How we display these things in our shelf, how it looks nice next to all the other releases in that boutique or in alphabetical order, whatever you do. And when you get something like this, it's a curveball. You might not have something to put this on. This certainly doesn't fit into the standard shelf, and all of your other releases look tiny in comparison, so it's a little silly to slide that in there. So you really are having to either get all of these and put them all separately so they all look the same, kind of like Encyclopedia Britannica, or you just got to find like a table to put it on. And I kind of had mine displayed behind me in the shelf back there, but took it down for this. Just to echo quickly what Russ said, this did really blow me away. The size, first of all, but just the quality of this box. The magnet clasp is awesome. What I thought was like really clever, and I don't know too much about 2001, they probably did the same thing there, was like you mentioned this pouch that the paper products are in. It's like the note to like the warden, and then you take it out. It's got like the note to red in here, like the letter to red, glossy photos, 2 posters. Just overall, I was really impressed with the quality of what this was. The price you mentioned was right considering what you got.
The size could even come down a bit and it wouldn't bother me, but I don't think the size, as I said, is as obscenely big as, say, that Godfather.
And it's also Shawshank Redemption, which came out in 4K like a couple of years ago now since we started this channel, and I've held out ever since saying I don't want that Purple Rain edition. I wouldn't want a regular. I kind of just wanted something really nice and waited for this, and I'm super glad that I now have the Shawshank Redemption 4K. I'm happy that I have this version of it. Great release. Thank you so much. Number 4 on my list.
I don't give a shit.
My number 4 choice is a recent one. I just received this days ago, and that is the limited edition Barbarella released by Arrow. And I went with the updated alternative artwork, namely because I've had a boot fetish ever since I discovered masturbation.
But that's monstrous.
But dude, look at this packaging, man. It's incredible.
Yeah,
right?
it's awesome.
The box, it has that smooth feel, that matte.
This book is nice and thick.
I was just about to say, look at this book. I would buy this book separately.
Right.
If I came across this in a bookstore and just saw this cover and it was like the making of Barbarella, $12.99, I would buy this.
Yeah, it is.
The posters it comes with, original artwork. Also, the new boot fetish artwork that I admire, even though it's illustrated. Arrow, as usual, has outdone themselves. If you're familiar with their deluxe limited editions, you know what you're getting here. Honestly, in my opinion, they keep improving. I did pop it in to check out the transfer, and dude, it looks stunning. This film is so colorful already, but holy shit, dude, it pops. Good job, Arrow. Number 4, dude.
Yeah.
I adore this release. I adore this movie. You did it more justice than perhaps it even deserved. So thank you, Arrow. I think our number 3 is a joint selection, and that is this year's The Exorcist.
You're right. This is my number 3.
This is a tremendous honor, and I'm very proud to accept it.
Well, we've covered this recently. You can check out the video to hear our thoughts in detail.
You can also listen to Tubular Bells, which got a copyright claim on us, but that's okay.
I like this box. I wasn't a fan of this blue artwork when I first saw it, but I have to admit, in person, it's nicer than I thought. We all know Friedkin, rest in peace. He passed away this year. He was such a great champion of physical media on top of being just legendary, great filmmaker.
I don't give a flying fuck into a rolling donut about what Al Pacino thinks. I mean, I could be sitting here for an hour and try and explain it, but that's a fact.
In my opinion, this is the best I've seen it. As someone who has followed this from the VHS days, I know you watched it for the first time.
I mean, I agree with everything you said, and that this one has I have quite a journey behind me on this release, which, like you mentioned, we've covered a few times. We did a recent review of it. I blind bought this just like I blind bought the Blu-ray, but this time I actually watched it. You're right, Russ. I watched this for the first time, and I'm a sucker for a hard box with a steelbook inside.
Same.
And again, what I was really after was the original art on a steel, which is always the best. The steelbook had sold out. All these other versions had sold out, but this came with it on the inside. And this is where it's at for me. Like, this is the art I want. I like this Blue Art box as like the house it lives in. But when I pull it out to look at it, to watch it, this is what I'm looking at. And this is what I like.
I did not get that Bible edition.
Yeah.
That sold out immediately. But I'm perfectly happy with this one. As far as it being a definitive release, it does miss some key features. We talked about that, didn't we? Mm-hmm. But I still have my special edition digibook on Blu-ray, so I have everything. Couldn't want more.
Just to say one last thing, why it's in my number 3 too, is just the movie itself. It was a first-time watch. It was excellent. The whole journey of getting this release to finally getting it here and having it and then watching it. And I'm glad to have shared that every step of the way with the people at home, including you, Russ. And now it's finally in the number 3 for my top 5 as well.
Because just to walk out of this building with this film on Blu-ray makes my day, my week, possibly my year.
My number 2 is a release that we've covered already, and we've talked about it some great length. It was a release that I pre-ordered months and months ago, and there was a couple of delays, but it finally made it here all the way from the UK. The Everything Blue release of Leon. This has more of a personal thing for me because this is a company that we have followed for a very long time. I have sort of thirsted after several of the releases that, you know, are long gone and are on eBay at this point. The Casino one is a release of theirs that I've always wanted, but I've never actually owned one. And I actually got my hands on one this year for the first time, and it's just as excellent and beautiful as I expected it would be. It really is a whole other level of box design and art design that gets put into this. But again, it's that same steelbook inside a hard box, and that's, again, I'm a sucker for that. This movie is excellent. I've never owned this on 4K. Again, another great opportunity to pick it up in 4K finally in a package that makes the most sense to me. Love this release. Everything about it had a ton of detail poured into it, made for fans, by fans, and we love Everything Blue, and I love this release. This is my number 2. Thank you so much. Check out our review if you haven't already.
You don't know what you're missing.
And my number 2 is also an import from Arrow, the 4K Psycho collection. This release just caught me off guard. They hit me with the gourmet shit. Like I pointed out with 2001, I'm starting to dig these clear slipcovers. I like that it's becoming a thing, and I want to see it continue. It's a nice sturdy box, that muted classic red look just with silhouettes, Norman on the cover, the house on the back, all 4 films on 4K with new artwork, which I actually like. I like this color scheme.
I think it's badass.
It really is. It's sinister and they're mean. I mean, they're badass. And then if you don't prefer these, reversible. It also comes with another just meaty book here. Each release also comes with their own 18 by 24 new, flip it over, original artwork. And the icing on the cake, Matt. This does not include the Vince Vaughn, Gus Van Sant remake.
So, Russ, before I get to my number 1, if I could just share one honorable mention. My runner-up honorable mention is actually a Blu-ray. It's not 4K. But I did want to give just one more quick shout out to this Arrow Video collection, Empire of Screams, Enter the Video Store. This box set is so cool, and I wish and hope that Arrow does more things like this. This is 5 basically VHS classics that nobody really gives a shit about, and which is probably why they don't do that this often. And rather than just kind of scrape them together and give them to you in some, like flimsy ass box, they put this really awesome package together that contains all of them. And not only that, but they put new 2K transfers on some of these. I upgraded from a VHS, Robot Jocks, Dungeon Master, Dolls, Cellar Dweller, and Arena. I bought this specifically just because I thought it was so cool, and I got this for like $60. And Dungeon Master was in there. Again, posters with everything, old and new art, such a really cool box itself. It's got a really great book in there, goes into tons of details of the makings of these films, which things I thought I'd never know about Dungeon Master, I learned. Mine came a little damaged in the corner, so they gave it to me for free. Thank you, Amazon.
I didn't do fucking shit.
But my number one, Russ, if I may, my favorite release of this year, and it came out in April. It's a movie, Russ, that I was so thrilled to find out was coming out in 4K. A movie that is a personal pick, as well as a pick that I'm just so glad to see the care that was put into it.
Okay, USA.
And you're right, Russ. My number one pick of the year is Bloodsport. I've been waiting for Bloodsport on physical media my whole career, my whole life collecting films. I've been waiting for Bloodsport. We all know there's a 2-pack out there with Time Cop, and there's been a few people that have said, you know what, it's actually not that bad. But that's just not me. I have never been a 2-pack person. I have never been a double feature, triple feature, DVD. It's not what I want. It's not what I want to collect. And I wanted a real, true release for Bloodsport that it deserved. This is a classic film in the genre and Jean-Claude Van Damme's career. It's what made him a star, and he's had his impact on pop culture. So it finally came in 4K, but it was in Germany, which these are region free. So of course I imported, but just the fact that it was announced, I was completely blown away. So finally it's announced, and then I start to look deeper as the weeks go on, what they're including. There are featurettes with everyone involved, including Jean-Claude Van Damme himself. He intros the movie, which you know is my favorite thing. You've got the composer, you've got other actors, you've got the cameraman, you've got the writer, you've got everyone coming back. And this release, not only did I get the media book version, which is great. It's super nice, textured inside. There's a great booklet. It's all in German, I will say, but it's really, really nice in general. The same company put a steelbook out, which is just as nice. So you have so many options to pick this up if you want to. So many great packaging options. Features are like mind-blowing for what this movie is and everybody that's still left around to talk about it. It's a movie I've always wanted, and it's here. And last but not least, the transfer is fucking awesome. Like, it is so great. It's so crystal clear and vibrant, and it's got that great film grain. You really are brought into that world with this transfer. I couldn't have asked for more with this Bloodsport release, my number one of 2023.
I picked up the same edition you have to say, right?
Yep.
Everything you said is spot on.
I'd love to see a U.S. company finally put this out. I know there's been a lot of rumors that like Vinegar Syndrome or somebody would do that, but this is just something that I'm so happy now exists. Maybe we'll get something in the U.S. And you know what? If we did get something in the U.S. that was really, really awesome, I'd buy that too. I'm Bloodsport for life. That's what it's all about. I support physical media. I support Jean-Claude. I support Bloodsport.
Nice.
Kumite.
Are you done? Great. Then let's cut the BS and get real.
My number one, Matt, is so nice I had to buy it twice. Natural Born Killers.
Wow. Okay. Nice.
I picked up the Steelbook and the Shout Select version. And the reason I did that is I have a history with this film. This film was arguably the first film I ever collected. When I was 14, I had a display up of the original VHS, and then they put out this 2 VHS special edition, and I had the soundtrack in between them on CD and a poster right above it on my wall. So I had to relive it. And what was awesome, why I got 2 copies again, was when I ordered directly from Scream, I got the 18x24 poster, which when I do develop a little screening room in my next house, I'm going to replicate what I had as a child. The vinyl display of the soundtrack, these 4Ks, and then that poster above it framed, just to, because we mature. For what this film is, now that you know, it deserves a great present. It needs a great presentation. To have lackluster Blu-ray and DVD releases were an offense to this title. At first, when it was announced, I thought to myself, man, that's cool, but I want like Arrow, you know, I want that thick box. I want all that. The more I thought about it, it makes sense. And then Best Buy gave us the Steelbook, which again, I like that it's minimalist and it's so to the point. The movie being a satire on media influence, and in 1994 in particular television influence, again for a film that has such strong visuals.
It's clever.
And so it is and I like I said, had to get both. You know, I couldn't not choose it as number one, man. Maybe it reminded me that, hell, this is one of my favorite movies of all time. I was happy to finally be able to discuss this movie with you.
Yes.
After damn near 30 years.
Yes.
Because you had never seen it.
I hadn't watched it.
And it was such an important film to me. And like I said, it brought a big old smile to my face in the year of 2023 when it comes to physical media, Matt. Number one.
And that's an excellent number one. And again, I think a great personal story for us to close out with. I mean, your pick was a little bit more personal, as was mine, but they were still great additions to physical media in the year 2023. If you agree, let us know. If you don't, let us know what your favorites were of this year, anything we might have missed. And I hope that everyone has a great holiday.
I do as well.
Russ, I hope you have a great holiday. Thank you for a great year of physical media. Thank you for checking out this channel and supporting us throughout this whole year. We've got a lot of great things coming up in 2024. Big plans, Russ.
That's right. Can't wait to see you guys again.
Big plans. So I think that's all we got, and we'll see you in 2024. Don't forget Rudy came out this year. This didn't make my top 5, but I'll tell you what, I watched it and cried like a baby.